Greetings, my fellow viewership. Is one of you by any chance addicted to RGB? Are you on the hunt for an affordable cheap case with a few of those RGB fans already installed? Well, today I might have something for you then. Meet the Sahara P35, a mid-tower by a brand you've probably only heard about just now. At the time of writing, this P35 is available for £80 on Amazon.co.uk. That would be around $110 US. For the money, you're getting tempered glass not only on the side, but front too, as well as 4 pre-installed RGB fans, along with a controller and a remote control. As attractive this case may be, it is far from perfect, but it has lots of good points too. So is it worth your money or not? Let's check it out. Now don't get me wrong, the case in itself isn't really that cheap, but considering 4 RGB Turbo Pirate fans by Sahara are already included, plus an RGB controller along with a remote control, that turns out to be a real attractive deal. After all, you know how pricey RGB fans as well as controllers are. In terms of looks, I do have to admit, while it's not exactly my style, it gets really close to it, and it's a great blend between an aggressive and minimalistic type of design. The beautiful front glass panel in fact really adds a lot aesthetically speaking. But other than that, it's not something really all too different from all other cases internally. A pretty standard package that has been proven to work for most manufacturers. What does stand out, however, is the fact that one could mount up to 3 fans to the bottom. The very first thing I noticed is the glass is real thick and of good quality. The steel used, though, well, it's quite thin, which might be a disadvantage to some, but to others a plus since it keeps the case fairly lightweight. Still, I'm impressed there's only very little plastic used. Besides, something I personally love seeing are lots of cutouts for cable routing. There are holes in the PSU shroud, the motherboard tray, and even more beside that tray. Most cutouts come with rubber grommets, which unfortunately are quite flimsy and might fall out. Still nice to have such. Now, my sample didn't come with the fans pre-installed, but I did receive those separately and had to install them all by myself. No big deal. According to Sahara, 3 of those 120mm fans are installed in the front and another one on the rear. These Turbo Pirate fans, however, do not connect with standard 3 or 4-pin fan connections. They need to be plugged into the included controller box. Up to 10 fans of this type can be connected to that box. And you could control the fan speed and lighting effects with the remote control. That's really nice. Surprisingly, there are some cool effects to choose from. Should you not want to use the remote, the RGB can be controlled via the RGB button at the front panel I/O2, but the controller box is a must either way. At the top, there's room for a 240 or 280mm radiator, and the front only up to a 240mm one will fit. Unfortunately, there's no dust filter in the front, but there are removable magnetic ones on the bottom as well as at the top. The hard drive installation is all toolless, and I like that there are 2 dedicated SSD mounting points on the main side. Showcasing your SSDs is actually pretty cool in my opinion. Behind the motherboard tray, there's not that much room to work with on cables though, so watch out. And yeah, as you can see, my test system fits perfectly into this P35. Long GPUs, absolutely no concern at all. However, a huge minus point to me personally is that except for 1 expansion slot cover, the rest needs to be broken out. That's awful in my opinion. But other than that, it's a pretty decent case. Although it's not so much the case that makes this an interesting deal, it's the 4 included RGB fans and controller box. So while there are some minor to slightly bigger downsides, overall it's not a bad case, which is why I would recommend this Sahara P35 if you don't mind some of its downsides. I'm giving this case my silver award nonetheless, and as always, thanks for watching.